Hello, everybody. Welcome early morning to this live. I thought that for this particular immigration live, I would talk about the EB-5, which is the investment visa, but I would concentrate on talking about what is an investment. Okay. And then, of course, as usual, afterwards, I will answer whatever questions you have. So at any time, go ahead and write your questions here, whatever they happen to be regarding immigration law, of course, U.S. immigration law. And once I am done talking about my subject of the live today, I will move on to the questions of the audience here and let you know how I can help. Okay, so EB-5. First of all, what is the EB-5? I've done lots of videos on this over, the last 30 years, give or take. That is the investment visa, okay? That is where essentially people invest, whether it's in their own business, actually now it's about $1.3 million, or they invest in a targeted a targeted area, which is essentially a low income area or a rural area as defined by different statistics, and or a regional center, which now requires about 800,000 to invest. So I always have people that have two things in mind. First, they think, let's say they have $1 million. Let's say they're from whatever country and they have million. I'll say 1 million, even though it's more at this time, depending. And they think that they just plop $1 million into USCIS or somewhere wherever. They file an easy application. They're home free and they're going to get the green card. Okay, it couldn't be farther from that. Okay, the truth is so much more difficult. Whereas other countries, it's quite easy to do their version of an investment visa, and in other countries where it doesn't quite have the competition that the United States has, they can plop the money down and boom, the next thing you know, they're legal residents of that country. In the United States, it's much different than that. First thing you have to realize is you can't buy off the adjudications officer. You can't corrupt the adjudications officer, and if you do, they're going to be prosecuted and go to jail. And the adjudications officer does not get a bonus, does not get one penny more from granting the EB-5 versus denying the EB-5. Okay, so keep that in mind when you're doing the investment. Okay, that there's a lot of checks you have to mark in order to get it. So what is an investment? Okay, what does that mean? Well, let me tell you first what it isn't. Because, over the years I get these questions and, some people think this, and so I need to clarify it at the beginning. Let's say they have $1 million in their bank account, wherever they happen to be, Korea or wherever, okay? And they say they're going to transfer $1 million from their bank account to a U.S. bank account, and boom, they have $1 million investment. And that's not true. Okay, that's not an investment. What that is a transfer of funds from one country to another. So one of the tests you have to use as to whether, or first of all, it's an investment at all, is you have to say, can you get your money back? And can you do it easily? Okay, so take the example I said, where you have $1 million in a foreign bank account and you transfer it to the U.S. bank account. Can you get your money back quickly? And of course, the answer is yes. I mean, you can do it electronically from Africa. It doesn't matter. Okay, you can go online. You can designate somebody to help you. You can go and you can get your money right away. Okay, now let's say it's not even in a bank account. Let's say you invest in a business. Okay, you give $1 million to your uncle to invest in a franchise business which he owns so you can, get the EB5. Then the question goes, well, can you get the $1 million back? Can you pick up the phone and say, yo, uncle, I'm a little low. Sorry, can you give me my $1 million back? But I still want you to go forward with the EB5. Well, of course, the answer is no. You can't do that. No. So why are these examples, why are they not investments? Okay. And the key is that they're not at risk. Okay, that's the terminology, the immigration terminology. They're not at risk. If you can get your money back by snapping your fingers, making a phone call, sending a letter, then you cannot say it is an investment, because it's not. Okay, think about a real investment where you are. Okay, think about if you have like your stock, stocks that you want to invest in. And let's say you put $1 million in stock. Well, can you get all the money back? Well, you might be able to. You might be able to get more back. But let's say the next day the stock price, tanks by 30%. Can you get all your money back if the stock tanks, if the stock price tanks? And of course, the answer is no way. It's gone. Okay, that part. You made an investment, you lost, and your money was at risk, and you lost. Okay, so first things first, when you do an investment, you have to make sure that the money is at risk. Okay, that's the first thing. It has to be a real investment. You can't think that you can put one over on immigration by pretending to make an investment. Like pretending to send money to your uncle to, purchase half his business, or pretending to transfer the money so that it looks like a real investment. You can't do that. I mean, you can't be arrogant and think that you can outsmart the immigration officials who do this day and night, and they can spot this a mile away. Okay, so that's the first thing. So the next thing, which I get a lot of questions on, is people will say, well, okay, let's say I put $1 million in this business, and let's say it's a real investment. Okay, you really invest, you have the purchase agreement, you have everything, it's real investment. So let's assume that. Can you just take the $1 million and do it and then say, I put $1 million in, see, it's a real investment. Boom, boom, boom. And the answer is no. You have to show where the source of the money came from. And with an EB5, that's not an easy thing to do, okay? A lot of times, number one, because you have $1 million you're investing, not everybody just has $1 million sitting in the account to do a real investment. Sometimes they have to liquidate houses. Sometimes they have to go into their stock portfolio. Sometimes they have to take wage increases. Sometimes they have to take, part of their pension out. Sometimes they have to take real loans. Sometimes they get gifts, okay? Sometimes it's a combination of it all, okay? And so you have to source where the money came from, because they want to make sure of two things primarily. One, that it is your money, okay? And two, that it was obtained legally. So first, let's talk about your money, okay? If you get a loan, a real loan, let's say you have, $700,000 of your own, and you need a loan for $500,000. So if you get a real loan and there's teeth in the loan, then it's your money, okay? The bank gave you the money, and you have to pay it back, and you have to pay them interest, but it is your money once you get it, okay? Now, going back to the example I gave earlier, let's say your brother gives you $500,000 and says, here's $500,000, just pay me back whenever you want, okay? It's a loan, pay me back. And if you do, great. If you don't, well, whatever. So if there's no teeth in the loan, meaning that if you don't pay it back, something bad doesn't happen, then it's not a real loan, okay? If your credit doesn't go down, if there's not a chance of getting a judgment against you and, garnishing your wages and things like that, or getting an abstract of judgment, then it's not a real loan. Now, given that, the next thing people say is, well, okay, what if my brother wants to give me $500,000? Okay, well, that's fine too. You can use part of the investment which you got as a gift. But again, it has to be a real gift. Okay, it can't be your brother saying, here's $500,000, I'm giving you a gift. But once you get the green card, give it back to me. Okay, that's not a gift. Okay, a gift means once you get it, it's yours. It no longer goes back to that person. Okay, so you have to show, like you could have gotten from inheritance. Your parents could say, well, I'm going to give you $250,000 to get you out of the house, go invest in your own business and have a good life. Okay, I mean, that's fine, but you have to show it all through documentation. Okay, now the next part is you have to show that the investment is the money you're investing was obtained legally. So I could exaggerate, although there's been cases filed like this, believe it or not, where you have people in other countries who obtained the money through drug sales, okay? Illegally through drug sales. And they got a lot of money, tons of it, okay? And they say, well, they have a good life there, but they want to have an escape route to the U.S. or do whatever, so they'll plop the money into an EB-5 to launder the money or to, have an escape route, whatever it is. And in the EB-5, there's specific sections that ask, where did this money come from? Okay. And if it didn't come from a lawful source, then you can't use it as part of the investment. So even if you have $800,000 of real, sourceable, traceable money that you can show that the investment's legit, if you have $200,000 that was obtained through unlawful means, and you use that as part of the whole package, you're not going to get the EB-5 and it'll be denied. The whole part of it, the whole enchilada, has to show that the money is legal and was obtained legally. Okay? So hopefully you can see from our discussion here that just taking $1 million and plopping it over here in the US is way not insufficient, or way not sufficient for an EB-5. Okay, and I'm concentrating on this live on just this narrow subject area of the EB-5 so that you get an idea that the investment and the money that goes in, there's a lot that is looked at to determine where the money came from, to source the funds, to see if it was obtained legitimately, and to see the chain of custody of the funds from wherever they came from to wherever it went. Okay, and that many times, again, is not an easy thing, especially where you have a country where, in many cases, people don't even like banks. Okay, I mean, I've had EB-5s where, people will pull $300,000 from under their mattress. Now, how are you supposed to prove that? Which I've had to, but it's much more difficult. Okay, so there's ways of doing it. You just have to make it happen. Okay, so that is the discussion on the EB-5 on the investment part. Let me scroll to the beginning of the live here and see, if we have any questions of whatever people want to ask. I hope everybody's doing well this morning. Weekend's coming up, so hopefully everybody will enjoy and have a nice weekend. Okay, so I'm just scrolling. A lot of people joined, but not a lot of questions so far. 1 second. This does take time for me to go down this, but if anybody knows how I can just press a button and select just the questions, that'd be great without having to scroll down everything. As of yet, I haven't found an easy way to do that. Okay, 1 second. We're doing a lot of scrolling here. Okay. Give me a second. Give me a second. Be patient. Be patient. Just gonna see if we have. I mean, if we don't have questions this time, that's okay. I'll just, close out the live until the next time. But let me see. I'm not sure what this question is about. Did I just walk into Me Bubba Figure out how to work TikTok? Now gonna tell date with my cousin. Okay. I don't think that's a real question. I have no idea what they're asking. So, if that was an immigration question, can you reword it a little bit? I don't understand what you're saying. Let me go down just a second. Okay, 1 second. Oh, wow. You know what happens? Sometimes I scroll and it jumps all the way to the bottom and then I miss everything. Just a minute. Okay, well, it doesn't look like we have a lot of extra questions today. So what I'm going to do... Okay, so anyways, what I'm going to do is just close out the live, but let you know that if you have any specific immigration questions, and I can answer anything regarding U.S. immigration. I mean, honestly, there's absolutely nothing you can throw at me that I cannot answer, assuming it's a real question, okay? And you can ask it here. You can, go on to my other accounts, which you'll be able to see, or you can call my office. And usually I give live consults 2 to 3 times a week, depending, and then we go from there. Okay, so I hope everybody has enjoyed this little discussion of investments on this live. I'll be back next time. Everybody have a good day.